husband who would be appropriate to give him this award. One name came to mind only. And so I would like at this time to introduce Anna Gasteyer.
Yeah.
How do you get here? I had the opportunity of working with Anna this summer at the Hollywood Bowl, where she played Miss Hannigan.
Yes.
And we did 8 shows in front of 17,000 people. The entire gig was sold out. It was amazing. And she was brilliant. Yes. Yes, I'm filming while you get here. Okay. And this is her new adoption dog.
Oh God, what did you say? This is gonna be a shit show. All right, I'm here to tell you she has not been trained by Bill Berloni. She is decidedly untrained. So I have a poop bag hidden here in my notes, if need be. And she did don her pearls for the event, but she's packed on a few since we had it knit. Here you go, baby. There you go. But she wanted to wear her fancy dress for Seth. Yeah. So anyway, you might want to be aware of these snacks because she's not trained, and for that matter, I know we didn't make a cell phone announcement, but you should probably hide your cell phones because she'll eat them. And the pacemaker, she'll eat that as well. I made a short list just so you could take note before we go ahead. If you are wearing Crocs or Birkenstocks, please be very aware that she'll eat those and the insoles. She'll eat the insoles. Kleenex, used or new, either one, toilet paper, glasses of all kinds, ballpoint pens, Legos, or Monopoly pieces. Please be aware of those and keep them close to your body. Rubik's Cubes, all shapes. All Rubik's Cube shapes, she'll eat the individual pieces and take them apart and maybe make somebody in your family cry. If you have a tub of omega-369 supplements, I would ask that you just, for the next few minutes or so, just secure that, just to be careful, because Gloria could bust into it, and I'm telling you, it's a bad night after that. Although the joints are agile, and that's important. Fitbits, any kind of Fitbit or any kind of a chest strap for fitness of any kind, you're gonna have to have that replaced, and I'm not paying. Wine corks, and sadly but true, any kind of medical marijuana vape pens like my mom has. I would make sure that you just keep those on the down low until we're done giving out the award this evening. And also the most important thing is the one fucking puzzle piece from my 1008 piece puzzle that I worked on. Zodiac themed, and there were more shades of blue and purple and more kind of different stars. Anyway, the middle of the Pisces fish is forever gone. Deep in Gloria's upper colon, I guess, still never to be seen again. Anyway, I'm so thrilled. Gloria is in my life, and I adore her. Hi, Glo. Hi, Angel. Here, have another treat. There you go. Because of Seth. Because Seth connected me to, oh yeah, isn't he? Yes, it's true. Have another one. There, I apologize to the community if I smell like bacon. Shh, that's a good dog. Seth connected me with, I explained my long pet finder journey, which was miserable. I looked up about 300 dogs and went through, NSA security clearance to try to get one of them after another. People come and clear the house and call people and wrote essays and, went and had an extra global entry interview for all of it. And then none of them came through. So Seth connected me with a volunteer coordinator for animal rescue, and Gloria came into our lives. The only descriptor was that we wanted a dog that looked like an old man. That was it, and we ended up with him. And I was delighted tonight to have the opportunity to make up to Seth. Seth and I have a famous history. We've been friends for a very long time. Since he worked at NBC, we became friends when I was on Saturday Night Live, and he was working on Rosie's show, and we went on the treadmill. Anyway, I didn't say that this is not my moment, so let's not clap for me, guys. But we have been friends a very, very, very long time, and I don't have any more treats, so can it. Is that how you do it on Broadway, Bill? Is that what you did with the goose? So Seth and I have this fabled history of really giant miscommunications in our relationships. My husband's here. If I could ask her. Charlie, you want to get her? Or are we happy? Yeah, I think Bill's saying it's now time. It takes, okay, great, my husband. All right, okay, I'll keep talking. Bye, Angel. Bye, Gloria. Thank you for coming on stage. Guess she's not going to be making any money for us. Or not much. To be paying our way, I thought it was a little bit of an audition. Straight out flop. And it was a flop. It's a pass. It's a hard pass. All right, they're not all winners. They're not all winners. Maybe print. Maybe print. We can go to print. We can do print. She can work in print. Okay, so we have a famous history, and Seth knows. Well, one time he called me and I was sobbing, right? This is your story. But
She basically was devastated, and she was saying, she basically told me that her dad died, and she was really devastated. And I was like, I could not believe it. I felt so horrible for her.
And I said, you of all people will understand why I'm devastated.
Yeah, and
which a little bit he was like, I think everybody would understand.
Yeah, and then she's like, and I have my cabaret act tomorrow, and I was like, a little shallow, but like, whatever, like, you know, I understand that we've got to advance our careers. And we kept talking, and like, I was sort of asking about the funeral, and she was acting weird, I was acting weird. Anyway, finally, after literally a full 10 minutes of us both thinking the other person's weird, she'd actually said, my cat died.
Yes.
And I was like, because I gasped, and then she's like, I got my cabaret tomorrow. I was like, And it was a crazy conversation.
Yes. And then the next really sad story was after Seth's beloved Maggie.
This is such a mishap.
This was such a mishap. Seth had the most beloved, wonderful dog,
Sweet dog, Maggie.
She was the most darling rescue and one of the true loves of his life. And my mother, the pot smoker, fell in love with, it's for medical use. She fell in love with Maggie, and my mother's a ceramic artist. And so when Maggie passed, my mother and I discussed it, and I commissioned her to do a sculpture, a very beautiful ceramic sculpture of Maggie, which is still in Seth's house. And I asked him for several pictures of Maggie along the way. And on his birthday, it was
just like, 3 weeks after my sweet doggy passed away on my actual birthday. I thought she was sending me a birthday email. I was so excited, so I opened up the email.
And it was just filled with photographs of his dog with no message, which he thought was like a horrible internet stalking moment. Just like the most psychotic, diabolical bitch in the world. Just like, happy birthday! Here's pictures of your dead dog. It was shocking. It was an email misfire. I was meaning to send my mother, his birthday had jogged my memory that we had agreed to do this, and so I sent literally a gallery of pictures with no message, no subject. Okay. It was devastating moment of all time. Yeah, so I was psyched for the opportunity to try to make it up for you tonight. But I know, we're sunk. But I'm going to be giving you somebody else's award, so I'm not sure it really counts. But I did want to take the chance, just to genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, on behalf of all of the Broadway community, but Bill and Dorothy. Seth, I'm joking. I've been joking up to this point. Seth has the biggest heart of anyone I know, and he really does. He gives of his time in a way I've really never witnessed before, and I went to Quaker school. He's generous on a level that is one of great service and of great gratitude to himself. He inspires other people and somehow manages to bring them along in this Peter Pan fashion to make them want to give of themselves, which is the greatest kind of generosity, because he's not just doing it on behalf of his own interests and his interest in all kinds of things. I mean, social justice and human rights and the animals that humans love and their true companions. He understands the depth of those relationships and gives so regularly and so frequently, but with such inspiration to his community. I do a lot of charity through Seth, and if I didn't have that in my life, I would be the most horrible person in the world. And I really speak on behalf of the community, because it is an incredible thing. It's like you do it with such nonchalance and with such a genuine kind of pleasure in the service that you inspire others to do the same in kind. And I thank you as your friend, and I also thank you on behalf of this entire community. Truly, truly. So I am honored to be the person handing this to the Humane Society of New York Sandy Award to Seth Rudetsky.
I was gonna have Anna Belt, but she's sick tonight, so she just made an appearance to do the speech. So thank you, Anna. I appreciate it. This is so exciting. I didn't, prepare anything to say, but I would just say that I love doggies, and I mean, I really just love all animals. And when I was growing up, my mommy and my daddy had doggies. We had a lot of dogs growing up. We had Missy and Heather, and for some reason, my mother always wants to name dogs with Hebrew names. We had Shoshana. So Shoshana the poodle, who lived forever, basically. And then when I became an adult, I got my sweet Maggie. And then when I moved in with James, he flew up his dog from Texas, Sonora. So we had Sonora and Maggie, and then we wound up taking his mom's dog, Scooby. And then, by the way, my mother has two more dogs right now with the Hebrew name. She has Malka and Suri. There's a lot of Yiddish happening there. But now we have 4 doggies and 1 cat. We also adopted his mom, who lives in a part of our house, the exact part of our house, adopted a senior dog, which I really highly recommend. It was her favorite dog she ever adopted. Max was 13 when she adopted him, and she was obsessed with him. So I really recommend adopting senior dogs. Right now we have 4 dogs. We have my sweet Mandy, who I feel is like the reincarnation of Maggie, and we have Bagel, who's a beagle. Which we didn't name, and I was like, that's so creative. Like, we didn't name him. Literally pees everywhere, which I want Bill to help me with. I mean, he'll just walk by, like, not even embarrassed, like in the house. It's so out of control. We have Molly, who's fucking crazy. And I do a cruise. By the way, there's like in your things, I do Broadway cruises. And I have one coming up Saturday, but I have one coming up with Andrew McCarl. But anyway, we have all these, we do cruises all the time, and James got the idea that we sort of try to combine social justice with our cruises. So we went to Puerto Rico, and one of the cruise events, it's all Broadway stuff, but we took all the Broadway passengers to an animal shelter in San Juan. The Humane Society of San Juan. And it was great. They gave us it was right after the hurricane. They gave us a list of all these things that they needed. Not just fun stuff, but like peroxide, all this stuff for animals. And the passengers brought all this stuff. They made donations. And I went up to this one cage, and this dog was so cute that basically we flew him to New York. So now we have little Mateo as part of our crew. He's a good boy. He's Puerto Rican. Anyway, I love doing this event, and it's crazy that I get to also be honored, because I just love doing this event every single year. So I'm just extremely grateful. So thank you.